Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So this is going to be lesson 3 and 4 of things that I've learned this year and things that are going to be my New Year's resolution for 2023. So lesson 3, and I'm reading this verbatim because I don't want to screw it up. Lesson 3, there might be 10 people who really see your value, but don't let the voices of the 10,000 who say you are worthless drown out the 10 that actually matter. So that's very important to me. I have had a lot of people throughout my life tell me that because I have a disability I shouldn't be even alive, and that's really harsh to hear because it's your family and people that you know are close to you, and they're like, oh yeah, people like that shouldn't live. That's always fun. But you hear this stuff in the way people talk about things, like they'll say, oh well, that they just won that contest because the judges felt sorry for them, or oh, they just received that award because people pitied them, and it can be a lot. It can make you start questioning your value as a person, and they get really loud. The older you get, the more you hear it, and the louder the voices of the 10,000 seem. Not that there's that many people, like, numerically, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying, like, metaphorically, 10,000, that's a lot, and it can be overwhelming, and so the lesson is try not to let that overwhelm you with the 10 people that actually matter, because, those are your people, those are your support circle. They might not be your family, it might not be your friends, it might be some random person on the internet, or it might be, a random stranger that you met 5 years ago at a conference, and they believe that you are capable, and definitely try to listen to those people more. I'm guilty of not doing that. As I mentioned in my previous videos, this year's been a struggle, and one of my issues is listening to the 10,000. As an OTA, I have the degree, I have the skills, but being told time and time again by jobs that I'm not a valuable employee because I'm blind, that kind of gets you, and so I have to remind myself, look, like, you're still valuable, you're still important, even if these people that are hiring you don't see that, you still have skills, you're still important. And not gonna lie, that's a struggle. It's a daily struggle, especially right now when I'm still looking for jobs. I just passed my 2-year mark for job hunting, and it's not been easy. I've had a lot of really unpleasant thoughts and feelings come up with this, and I haven't done great at listening to the 10 people that actually matter and that I should actually worry about. But so that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to work on it. That's why I'm making these videos, to make myself work on it. Because, it's difficult, and even if you don't have a disability, this is for everyone, people are still going to doubt you. They're still going to say, oh, you are awful, you don't deserve life, I see it a lot with the medical textbooks that I read, or even just, I don't want to get too political, but the abortion laws and the abortion campaigns in America. I am obviously against abortion, so if you are for it, I'm not saying that, I'm not going to argue with you, it's your choice, your opinion, but my reasoning is that the major part of the abortion movement is that disabled babies / fetus, whatever you prefer, but to me it's child, the whole point of that is that they shouldn't live because they have an abnormality. This could be a genes, it could be something you can't always tell before a child's born, or even, you know, it might be that, you know, it's going to be difficult for the child because they have some abnormality slash deformity that, you know, society might think is weird or wrong or broken. So, you know, me personally, I don't agree with that. I think everyone should be given a chance to live and be equal. So, you know, as a person speaking from no experience of having my own children, I don't have any kids, but I just don't think that, you know, I think that abortion's a good example for the 10,000 because, you know, you've got all the people in the world that are saying, oh, this child has Down syndrome, let's say, because you can tell that. This child has Down syndrome, so they shouldn't live. They shouldn't be allowed to be born because, you know, they have Down syndrome and it's a curse. You know, like that's what they imagine, or they'll say it's a burden on society, and they'll come up with all these things. And I'm like, no, like people are people. They deserve to be treated equally and with respect. And even if, you know, there's differences in people, they don't. Not everyone learns at the same pace, same speed. I mean, like my family and I were a great example. We don't understand things equally. Like, you know, we don't agree on everything, and you know, we don't get along with things, and we don't understand concepts. Like for me, I'm very English is my thing. You know, grammar and all that. And I know these videos aren't very grammatically correct, but like in my writing, I grammar is important. But when I'm with my family, they don't think about that. They're not grammar people. You know, they just write whatever they feel, and it's grammatically incorrect for English, but they don't care. You know, it's just an aspect of them. And that's what disability is, an aspect of someone's identity. It's not everything about them, but it's still something, and it's still valuable. And so, you know, the whole point of lesson number 3, even if the people of the world tell you that you're not important, you are, and somewhere in the world there will be someone who values you. It might not be your family, it might not be your parents or your siblings or even yourself at times. I've been struggling with that this year as well. But there's someone out there. You just have to go find them, and you know, part of that is being open, being vulnerable with people, and telling them, hey, look, I'm struggling with life in general, and I need some help. And you know, that's how you find the people that support you, because instead of them going, oh, I don't want to help you, they'll say, cool, how can I help you? What can I do? Because that shows that they value you as a person and are willing to sit down and talk to you about your struggles and your issues that you're having, you know, in the moment, or maybe even your whole life, you know. So find those people. They're not always easy to find, and it changes. You know, you might have people that don't value you, and then you do something and they see you as a person, and it's like, whoa, well, that's cool, they see me as a person. Or you might have people that just the opposite. You think they value you, and then something happens and you realize that they don't. You see this a lot with newly disabled people. This is no shame on the friends of people, but they don't know what to do, how to act around someone that's newly disabled, so they just go away. They don't talk to the person. They're not there for the person. That's very isolating, you know, for the disabled person. But that's how you find your valuable people, because someone will eventually stay. They're not all going to disappear. It doesn't work that way. Not every single person in your life is going to be supportive of you, but not everyone is going to hate you either. It's a balance, you know. And when those 10,000 voices get overwhelming, turn to those people. Turn to those ones that are there to support you, because those are the ones that are going to matter. Those are the ones that are going to help you, and you need those people in your life. So that was a long ramble. I apologize. Let me do number 2. It's very windy, so I apologize if there's like weird noises behind me. My house kind of creaks in the wind. Okay, number 4. This is again verbatim. There will always be people who do not want to change their stereotypical / ignorant beliefs about you, regardless of how hard you try to show them they're wrong. Don't bother wasting your energy on trying to change their mind. It will never work. And that's kind of goes along with lesson 3. Those people that are not supportive of you, that think that you are not valuable, they're not going to take the time to listen to you and respect you. And that's hard. That's hard because you see all these skills that you have, and you go and you're like, yeah, look at me, I've got this, and this, and I've got all these skills, and I want to show you because I want you to see that I'm a person. It doesn't matter. They're not going to change their mind, and that's not always the case. Some cases, yes, it will change their mind. But I mean, there's going to be people out there that are not going to change their mind regardless. And I've struggled with this a lot personally because I want people to respect me a lot. And it's hard knowing that I'm always going to be just a blind person in their eyes. I'm never going to be, hey, you're Gretchen, you have this skill and you can do this. I'm not. Like, no matter what I do, I'm still going to lose. You know, with them, they're not going to see me as a person. And that's been a real struggle for me. I've worked really hard these past couple years in college and life, making myself the best person I can be. I've worked really hard, and I was top of my class in high school, and like all these things. Even at my university, I was in a lot of activities, and I was doing all this stuff, and I was being the best person. And the idea that no matter what I do, people are still going to see me as a person that's blind, or just not even a whole person because I'm blind, that honestly bothers me a lot, and I struggle with that, because I know in my head that no matter how hard I try, it's not going to work. It's not going to change their mind. But I still feel like I have to try. I have to work really hard, and harder than everybody else. I have to be the best. And that's what I've struggled with, honestly, throughout my whole life. This hasn't been just a couple week thing. It's been like a whole life thing. I've had to be the best to be considered equal. That's where that whole perfectionism kind of comes in, and it can really bother you. But like they have all these workshops for disabled people of how to be normal, how to be equal. You have to have all these skills, and you have to do this and this, and if you don't do this, then you're not normal, and you're not equal. And that's not true, because what's normal? Like, no one knows. So there is a certain respect to being socially accepted in the society, being normal. But also there's a part and a time when you have to embrace the fact that you're never going to be normal. So just roll with it, accept it. I mean, I am a blind person. I'm not ashamed of being blind, but society can make me feel ashamed, whenever they say, oh, we don't want you because you're blind, or oh, you can't walk down those stairs, you can't see, and I'm like, yeah, my legs are fine, I can walk downstairs, I just can't see the steps, but I can walk down them just fine. And there comes a point when you just embrace it. You're like, okay, cool, I'm not normal, I'm never going to fit in with society, so whatever, It's not that easy either. It doesn't come overnight. It takes time. I'm not even there yet all the time. It's kind of a back and forth journey for me. But I get to the point where I don't really care what other people think. I'm doing my own thing. I don't care what some random person over there and my neighbor says, or what my cousin says, or just whoever, because I'm me, and I know that no matter what I do, it's never going to work, never going to change their mind. So I'm just gonna keep being me and doing my best and just roll with it, you know? Um, again, this is very difficult to learn, to talk about. Even I'm being very vulnerable with you all on the internet, so that's always interesting. Um, but you know, I promised myself I'd be real with this channel and with social media. Probably YouTube's my most real place, because Facebook I'm more like positive, but YouTube I'm like, yeah guys, here's life, you know. But I want to be honest and real with you all about these things, and I want to tell you, you know, coming from me as a person who's always tried to be my best at everything, it's draining, it's tiring, it's awful, because you feel like you're never gonna win. And just to be able to let go of that and to just be like, look, I don't care. Like, I'm still gonna do the best that I can, but I'm not gonna be doing my best just to please other people. Because, you know, we feel like we have to do better for all the blind people, or all the disabled people in the world, or all the black people in the world. We gotta be a good representation of our cultures, our identities. And I'm like, no, like, I don't want to be. I want to just be me. And that's hard, you know, because you might even have people from your own group, like other black people or other whatever nationality or whatever you identify with, you know. They might be like, oh, you're not being a very good representation of all the so-and-so. And I'm like, great, because I'm not all of them. Like, we're all different, we're all individuals. So it's kind of where respecting yourself comes in to play here. Because you're not the same as everyone else in the world. You're not going to fit in with the world every single time, every single place. So this is where you have to embrace yourself and embrace the fact that you're not going to fit in with everybody. You're not going to be equal all the time. And it's not necessarily just disability related. This could be anything, financially, even personality wise. You know, you might not fit in with all the people that like to talk about science. You know, you might like history or math or English. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly acceptable. You know, you can't let all of those different identities that you identify with, you can't let one override everything else. You know, there's still you. There's still your personality in there. So definitely don't listen to the 3,000 other people that tell you that you're not worthy of life, or in some cases not worthy of being in a certain location, or even being a part of a group, because, you know, you're a person, you still matter. And there's always going to be people out there who say that you're going to fail at life, or you're not important. So, oh my gosh, sorry, I thought I heard someone knocking. It's just the wind. So definitely, it's my neighbor. Sorry, my neighbor's banging on something. Yeah, so definitely, like, ignore those voices, and it'll get easier over time. You eventually just learn to just tune them out. I'm not there yet. I'm still working on it, but it's a challenge. It's always a work in progress. But it does get easier eventually, I've been told. And, you know, when you let go of that and you focus on you and your importance as a person, you can relax a lot. Like, it feels freeing, you know, because you're not putting all your energy and trying to be better than everyone else so you can be treated equal. So yeah, so that's my long, complicated lesson 3 and 4 about not listening to the people in your life that tell you that you're going to be awful, and also not caring that other people are going to be telling you that you're awful. So yeah, so hopefully you all enjoyed this. I'm sorry if the audio is like awful, or my camera angle might be awful too. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so anyway, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you all have a good day, and hopefully this helps someone in the world.